Today we're going to be going over some of the rough that we found this last week. What I do is just throw it in one of the containers, let it build up. Today's snowing and hailing all day, so it'll be an inside day. What I'm looking for is I'm trying to basically categorize all of my different rough. I have several different categories that I put it in. I separate a little differently than a lot of the other miners. I basically have schiller beads, color beads, a light schiller, intent schiller, what I call a green schiller, small facet grade 1 to 3, that'll cut 1 to 3 carats, stuff that'll cut over 5 carats, and then my collectible stuff. So basically I just go through looking for any fractures, try to nip out and clean up the stones as good as I can. Okay, that one make a nice little small facet, that'll cut half a carat to carat stone. That's got just a little schiller in that, throw that in for bead material. Same with this, some schiller, throw it in. Now here's a nice dichroic. You can basically see it changes from green to red. Got some schiller in there, but it'll still cut a pretty nice stone. Cut a nice emerald cut, nice teal emerald cut. Yeah. Basically I set up my facet grade 1 to 3 carats, my greens and dichroics, and then my reds. And here's a nice, not a great dark red, but a nice red. Got a little fracture coming right through here. Yeah, that'll cut a nice stone. This piece here too small for faceting anything. See the fracture right here. A little dichroic, too small to cut faceted stone for what I want. This is a pretty big stone, but just basically has got some small red and green in there. We'll clean up some of the fractures here. See if we can get a better look inside the stone. It's clear, nothing left in it, no color. This has got some schiller in it. And a small little bit of red in there. Dichroic green one way, red another. Just throw that in the white. Now here, this will make it cut a nice stone. A little watermelon on that side, red, dominant red. Put it in my reds. Fracture right on the end there. Okay, this is really a schillery green. You can see the green, the red on this axis, green on this axis, but a lot of schiller in it. It's not going to cut a good stone. It's going to be an awful murky stone. I'll throw that in with what I call my green schiller. Just doesn't have what I'm looking for good clarity that comes out of this mine. We want basically the best going into the facet grade. A lot of people say we're pretty jaded that we get such good stones. Yeah, we are, but this is, get the best that we can out of it. And a lot of things that I put into non-facet grades, a lot of people wood facet them and it comes out pretty good stones. This really has nothing in it. That's got just a hair of schiller. Right when I turn it a little bit, I can see the schiller. Not really anything I'd want to facet. We'll throw that into the bead material. Okay, this has got some green and schiller in it. Now here's one that's got a lot of fractures in it, so we'll try to nip into it, break out, get as many of the fractures out of it as we possibly can. I try to get as many fractures out of my stones as I can. Just really think that, you know, to keep a customer, you know, the customer comes in and buys something, you know, if he can see, you know, without all the fractures in there, he's going to be able to tell a lot better what he's going to get for a stone out of there, you know, recovery ratio. This is just a beautiful one of our teals. I mean, this is just a gorgeous stone. Yeah, gorgeous. Yeah, okay, you can just see the schiller just barely, you know, showing through, but it's just got fractures everywhere. Just try to get, yeah, you can see the schiller there on the sides of this. Still got fractures in it. That's under the bead material. That's a clear. Some schiller in here. Just a lot of fractures in this piece. Just going to get a little bit of bead material out of it, and that'll be it. But hey, beads are beautiful. See, they're not easy to nip. Sometimes you just really have to fight them. Not really much in there. A little bit of schiller. By the time I cut all the fractures out, it won't be much. So this is basically what we got here this week. Got some pretty good stones out of it. You know, a good way to start. Just really started being able to screen. It's been snow all winter and snowing it again today and hailing. So we said, nah, can't screen when it's snowing and hailing like that. Yeah, that's a nice little, I'll cut it about a 4mm nice green. You know, this one you can see that the fractures are coming in. A very nice stone in there. And we'll just see if those fractures are going clear into it, the color, or just going around it. Yeah. Okay. Beautiful teal again. This one you can't even see if there's any color in it. There's so much rind around it, a lot of fractures. There's definitely some color in there. Well, this broke down. Yeah, our stones up here on the Butte are a little bit different. You know, down the valley they don't have as much matrix on them. We had a very hot flow, so the matrix actually we had a lot more cinder, and the matrix actually just adhered to the outside of a lot of the stones. So make cut a nice little red, about a carat and a half. This will be another piece of bead material. Get these fractures off of here. This is going to cut a nice red. Not a big one, but good clarity. Our stones just have exceptional clarity. Anybody that's worked with them, cut them, says really nice clarity. Cut it nice, geez, about 2 carat red. There's some green with schiller in there. Get this one. It's going to be a tough one to get. Yeah, I just don't think that's worth faceting. You can see the green in there, but you got a lot of schiller. Put that in my green schiller. More of a cabbing, carving stone. With that schiller in there, our stones come out really nice. For carving. This one really has got just a little bit of color. Nothing great. Now here, this is a nice red. That'll cut a beautiful dark red, yeah. Just a little fracture right here on the end. Yeah, that's going to cut it 2.5, 3 carat. Just a gorgeous red. Best red's this C-axis. Yeah, probably get a carat, carat and a half, but boy, that, you always cut for your best red. You look at this side, much lighter. Go here, you got your deeper red, so you're going to darken your color up. I'd cut that from the C-axis there. Now, here's an intriguing stone. Got schiller in it. It's got a fracture running across. I really lose a lot of weight. A lot of the miners won't, clean up their stones like I do. I just really think that's a nice dichroic. It'll cut about a carat. Okay, now this is the other part of that piece. Now you can see very uniqueness of our stones. You can see the green, schiller, red, all on the same. Then you change it just a couple degrees. Change it 5 degrees here, and you'll see the green come into play. Change it back. You got red on this axis. Just gorgeous stones. And our stones, when we get this dichroism in them, by dichroism I mean basically 2 colors. One axis will be green, one axis will be red. Where our stones are different than a lot of valleys, most of your stones down the valley, when they're dichroic, it's a 90-degree dichroic. So basically, you'd look at red here, you'd have to change it 90 degrees, you'd see the green, but you can see my red comes in and green kind of mingles. You can see red and green here on this. Now, there's a lot of schiller in here. This is more of a carver. You could facet it, but I'd more carve that one. That's going to be a gorgeous stone there. Now, here's a nice stone. This is 100 and I think I've weighed this one once, 153 carats. Look at that beautiful red. Look at the size. Now you can see green, you can see red just by slight rotation. You look at it this way, it's hard to tell because of lighting, but this axis here is just a gorgeous teal. And you're going to be able to cut 20 to 25 carat stone out of this, a teal. You got a beautiful red this axis. Absolutely a collector stone. You can see a little line in there that looks more like a schiller line. It could be a fracture, but I don't think so. That's a gorgeous stone. Look at the deep red there. Greens. Look at the teal on that now. That's a collector stone. 150 carats. Just a beautiful, beautiful stone. Here's another large stone. Now you can see the fracture running all the way through here. Now these bigger stones, sometimes I won't cut all the fractures out. I apply a certain amount of pressure just to basically see if it'll, the fracture is deep and it's going to break easy. Because if you put too much pressure on them, sometimes you'll break along one of the plane lines also, and take it out. Sometimes with some of our 100 to 400 carat stones, I'll leave the big fractures in there and let the cutter actually use a saw cut down. Here is really an unusual stone. You can see coming right through the middle. On this side is green, this side is red. Normally when you see that, there's a fracture through there that separates the colors, but not this one. Same thing here, you would have half red and half green. You just don't see that. And look at this red here, just cherry red, beautiful. That's because the green's underneath there, so it's really changed that, color of that. Now you can even see coming from this axis, you can see green on this side, red on this side. Very unusual for sunstone. Very unusual that you see red and green on the same axis. I've got one stone that's about a 7 carat that looks just like tourmaline. If you catch this perfectly, you'll come out like a bicolored tourmaline, where you'll just have a nice straight line across there. Gorgeous stone. That's a collector stone just because of that split in there. Now, we've just broken that piece off here. You can see this red is almost a cranberry red. A little different because you got, on this you got the green on the axis on the back side. So it just gives it that little different look than a lot of the other sunstones have. See if I can get this. Yeah, that's beautiful. Now green on the C axis. Beautiful. That's a nice stone. That's going to cut a big stone. And here again, we're seeing green and red on the same axis, which is just, you get a handful of them. We've just got 2 in a row here. Actually, that other one was actually a part of this stone. That's probably why, because I don't see very many of these. You can see that beautiful teal that we're just world famous for. The clarity of these stones is incredible. That's just beautiful. And here we've got some schiller again, but just a huge amount of fractures. Got to get them cut down enough where there's less fractures in it for beads. And they're pretty well so full of fractures, not worth it. Now this is one of our stones. It's not really a champagne clear. You can see in there there's just slight bit of schiller in there, and green, a little bit of green and red in there. Got one fracture running through here. I don't know if it's going to split up yet, or not. Get a little bit off of that. There's some pretty good, one big fracture running through part way. So you can just see very little bit of red and green.